Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into some powerful ideas, stuff about what truly sets apart people who find success, and not just once, but, consistently.
That's right. We're exploring insights from a really interesting piece called The Winning Mindset, a Champion's Blueprint, originally from the Vivecast.
And what's compelling is how it shifts the focus. It says, forget looking outside for luck or the perfect situation.
Yeah, it really asks you to look inward. It suggests that maybe the biggest thing holding you back isn't external at all. It's actually the landscape of your own mind.
Exactly. It kicks that whole waiting for the perfect moment idea to the curb. That's a myth, according to this blueprint. It argues winners just operate differently inside. They're not waiting around hoping for good luck.
No, they're active. They actively go after what they want. Success isn't something that just happens to them. It's something they claim, something they earn, really.
And at the real heart of it is looking at that gap,
Mm-hmm.
between really succeeding and just faltering.
Right. And the argument is strong. It's less about raw talent or luck and profoundly more about your mindset. Not just a mood, but like your entire mental operating system.
Okay, so let's dig into that foundation. How does this winning mindset actually change things?
Well, the winning mindset piece suggests it fundamentally alters how you even see challenges and setbacks. They just look different. Obstacles aren't these like impossible walls anymore.
They become what? Temporary detours.
Exactly. Or even puzzles to solve. Sometimes even stepping stones, believe it or not.
Which is honestly a huge shift. Think about how do you react when you hit a real hurdle? Do you feel totally deflated or does something kick in like, okay, how do I tackle this?
Yeah. And the blueprint argues winners see failures completely differently too. They're not fatal. They're not proof you can't do it. They're just data. Invaluable lessons, really. Data points on the path towards getting better, towards mastery.
Data points. I like that. It takes the sting out a bit.
It does, and this ties directly into something called radical responsibility. It's a big theme. Winners, they put their energy into solutions. Full stop. They don't waste time just dwelling on the problem or, blaming things.
Right. You don't hear them complaining about the economy or the weather or what someone else did or didn't do, things they can't control.
Precisely. They own their choices, their actions, and even their responses to things they can't control.
Because that's where the tower is, right?
Yeah.
In the ownership.
That's exactly what the blueprint suggests. Ownership gives you the power to change your situation, or at least your direction. They deliberately create the results they want instead of just sort of waiting for the stars to align.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit, maybe into something a little uncomfortable. Because the winning mindset makes a really strong point here. Most people, often without even knowing it, build prisons with their own thoughts.
Yeah, that's a powerful way to put it. They create these detailed stories, these narratives about why they cannot succeed, why their biggest dreams are just out of reach for someone like them.
They convince themselves that huge success, real fulfillment, that's for other people, right? Not for them.
And they let past failures, maybe things that really stung, define not just their present, but what's even possible for their future. Fear just locks them down, keeps them stuck in their comfort zone, even if that zone isn't very comfortable anymore.
But here's the contrast. The winner's mindset involves actively fighting against that.
Fighting is a good word. The blueprint talks about it like waging war on those self-limiting beliefs. It's about consciously, deliberately training your mind, training it to really embrace the idea, the audacious belief that, hey, maybe anything is possible.
It's not just thinking happy thoughts, though, is it?
No, definitely not. It's way deeper than superficial positive thinking. It's like a fundamental reprogramming. It means challenging every single excuse that pops into your head until it just loses its power over you.
And pushing through discomfort.
Absolutely. Because growth and comfort, let's be honest, they rarely hang out together. You have to choose. And it's about cultivating your mind like a garden, actively planting possibility, nurturing it, and being ruthless about pulling out the weeds of doubt.
Ruthless.
Yeah, this kind of mental discipline, this unwavering focus of thought, that's a huge separator. It's not passive at all.
Okay, so mindset is key. But what about actually doing things? Let's talk action.
Right. And here's another crucial insight from the winning mindset. Winners don't sit around waiting for motivation or inspiration to hit them.
The waiting game. Yeah, the blueprint points out if they waited to feel like it, they wouldn't get much done, would they?
Not at all. Instead, they train themselves. It's about habit and discipline. They train themselves to move, to act, to execute, even when they really don't feel like it. Even when everything inside is screaming later or I'm too tired.
That raises a really important question for anyone listening, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Are you maybe a bit of a slave to your emotions, only acting when you feel motivated or energized?
Because the blueprint suggests that just leads to this roller coaster of results, right?
Yeah.
Totally dependent on how you happen to feel that day. If you wake up feeling, does everything just stop?
Whereas winners, they've mastered showing up consistently, day after day, regardless of the internal emotional weather.
Exactly. They act with intention, with potency. Their mood doesn't dictate their actions or their progress. They dictate their success despite their mood. That's a really powerful distinction to make. And it's cultivated.
So, building on that, how do they handle fear? I mean, fear stops so many people cold.
Well, the winning mindset is really clear on this. It's not that they don't feel fear. They're not robots. They experience it sometimes really intensely, just like everyone else.
Okay, so what's the difference then?
The critical difference, according to this perspective, is their cultivated ability to move forward anyway. They feel the fear, they acknowledge it's there, maybe even name it, and then they act.
So they don't see it as a stop sign necessarily.
Often, no. They learn to reinterpret it. They might see fear as a signal, like, okay, I'm pushing boundaries here. Or maybe it means they're right on the edge of growing, on the verge of a breakthrough. Fear becomes a compass, not a cage.
And this feels like it connects back to that idea of radical ownership we talked about.
Absolutely. It's central. The blueprint emphasizes this strongly. Winners just refuse to let their circumstances define their limits. You won't find them blaming external stuff or other people, for why they aren't making progress.
They take complete ownership.
Complete and utter ownership of everything. Their choices, how they react, the results they get, good or bad. And because they fully embrace that radical responsibility.
They gain control.
Inherently, yes. They possess the maximum possible control over where they're going. Ownership isn't a burden in this view, it's power. The power to create their own success.
This self-reliance thing, it must also apply to needing approval from others. That seems like another big trap.
Huge trap. And yes, the winning mindset suggests winners just don't waste energy there. They don't worry excessively about what other people think. Think about their goals, their methods, whatever. They've made an internal decision. They're going for it, regardless of opinions.
So they don't need everyone to cheer them on.
Not constantly, no. What's fascinating is they seem to operate from a really strong internal compass. They don't need that constant external validation fix. They trust their own vision. They believe in themselves.
Which lets them move with a certain clarity, maybe.
Exactly. A clarity that just isn't there if you're always looking over your shoulder, seeking approval. They're willing to stand alone sometimes, pursue their own path without needing to apologize for it.
Okay, so internal state, action, ownership, ignoring external noise. What else is key?
Well, another huge differentiator highlighted in the winning mindset is the almost ruthless elimination of distractions. Winners understand that getting anything significant done requires focus, like laser-like focus.
Yeah, distraction is framed almost like a thief, isn't it? Stealing your most valuable resources.
Your time and your energy, both finite. And just think about today's world. How easy is it for your attention to get completely scattered?
Incredibly easy. Notifications, emails, shiny objects everywhere.
Right. And the blueprint argues most people just jump from thing to thing. They start stuff, don't finish it, chase the next new idea.
Which leads to feeling busy, but maybe not actually achieving much.
Precisely. It's busyness without real productivity. Winners, though, they aren't haphazard like that. They train themselves again. It's training to focus intensely on what truly matters for their long-term vision.
They're ruthless about it, you said.
Ruthless in minimizing distractions. They protect their focus like it's a priceless asset. Because it is. They realize not everything screaming for attention actually deserves it.
And this leads to that idea of going deep, not wide.
Exactly. Depth over breadth. Success, from this perspective, isn't about dabbling in 100 things. It's about mastering a few key things, going deep, cultivating that intense, unwavering focus to build real momentum.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, after this deep dive into the winning mindset from the Vibecast, it seems really clear that becoming a winner, whatever that means to you, it's fundamentally an inside job.
It really is. It seems to have far less to do with external circumstances lining up perfectly, and much, much more to do with how you consciously choose to think, how you choose to act, and how you choose to respond, especially when things get tough.
Yeah, regardless of what's happening around you.
Right. It's about choosing to embrace that radical responsibility we talked about.
Actively challenging those internal limits, the doubts, the fears.
Choosing action and discipline over just waiting to feel motivated.
Navigating fear by moving forward with it, not trying to erase it.
Owning your story, your narrative, instead of letting setbacks or opinions define you.
Prioritizing that internal compass over needing external applause.
And yeah, fiercely protecting your focus from all those distractions demanding your time and energy.
And the really hopeful part, the empowering part from the blueprint, is that your mindset isn't set in stone, is it?
Not at all. That's maybe the most crucial takeaway. It's not fixed. It's dynamic. It's malleable. It's something you actually have the power to reshape, to train, to align with what you truly want to achieve.
Starting anytime, like right now.
Exactly. So maybe here's a thought to leave you with. If real sustained success is cultivated by consistently doing the hard stuff, the uncomfortable stuff that most people just aren't willing to do, pushing through fear, embracing discomfort, acting without waiting for permission or motivation, maintaining that focus, taking total ownership, what's the one uncomfortable action, maybe even slightly scary action, that you know deep down you need to take today? What's the first step you could take right now to begin actively sculpting your own champion's mindset?